Fossils. Have you ever seen a fossil in rocks buried in the earth? It's like finding a treasure. Fossils are remains of plants and animals that lived a very long time ago. For example, any dinosaur fossil that is found is at least 65 million years old. Fossils tell stories about the past. Many of these stories are surprising. For example, fossils of sea life have been found as high up as the top of Mount Everest. This means at one point, the rocks in Mount Everest were probably underwater. Fossils from plants in the rainforest have been buried deep in the ice of the South Pole. The oldest known fossil is a tiny bacterium. These fossils have been found in southern Africa. These fossils are said to be as old as 3.5 billion years. How are fossils formed? Bones and plant remains begin to decay with time, but sometimes the bones and plant remains are covered with mud or sand. This makes it possible for the soft parts to decay, while the harder parts such as wood, bones, and teeth last longer. Eventually, these hard parts become hardened or petrified. Latitude and longitude. The Earth has a very large surface, and at times it is very hard to explain exactly where you are. There are two types of directions that can be used. The first type is absolute direction. Absolute direction is when you are given a specific address or location, such as a street address. The other type of direction is relative. Relative direction uses imaginary lines called latitude and longitude lines to explain location. These imaginary lines run from north to south and east to west across the earth. Latitude lines run east to west. These lines are used to tell you how far north and south you are from the equator. The equator is the imaginary line that runs horizontally along the center of Earth. It is the exact midpoint between the north and south poles. Latitude lines are also called parallels because they go around the Earth without ever crossing or intersecting. They are numbered from 0 to 90 degrees. 0 degrees is found at the equator. The North Pole is 90 degrees north and the South Pole is 90 degrees south. There are other imaginary lines that run north to south. These imaginary lines are called longitudinal lines. The very center line that runs through the north and south poles is called the prime meridian. Lines of longitude are also called meridian lines. Lines of latitude and longitude can help you find your location and place on this earth.